Hey guys, welcome back. It's Malachi with Brotherhood Outdoors. Today I just wanted to do a quick little video on my hinge cut property line that I do on the farm that we own. And the reason I do this, there's a lot of reasons for it, and everybody has their different reasons. And my two main reasons are, first one is for trespassers. This is to keep people out. The neighboring property is a huge park. It was private ground the year that we bought it, and now it's a big park ground. It was in this an old man's will for it to go to park property to the city, and so now we have people in there all fall, because that's the time people want to be in there, and they're walking their dogs, and kids are playing, screaming, yelling, and whatever. It's all good stuff. Just we just don't really want anything to do with it. When it comes to from a deer management perspective, it's just kind of obnoxious. And it's kind of hard to keep deer on any kind of pattern when all summer long and all winter it's different. And then as soon as fall kicks in and you're trying to hunt all day long, there's people over there walking and, being loud. So the first thing is to keep people out. Like I said, I've been hunting there in the stand down the property line looking into our land. And then out of nowhere, I'll just have people come walking up behind me and they'll walk right past me into the property. And it's like, that's not cool. So we kind of took care of that problem as much as we could. I extensively hinge cut this property line. That is the biggest reason for it. Reason number two is a visual barrier for the deer. Hinge cutting is used for many purposes. You can do all kinds of different stuff with it, but for this reason, it's a visual barrier, because most of our bedding areas are on this side of the property closest to where the park is. And so, because that's where our high ground is, that's where we got to do all of our bedding. So when we have the bedding on this side and you got people walking by in the middle of the rut, because that's the nicest time of the year and when people want to be out, these deer they will not stay bedded if they have, 5 people come walk by. If they see it visually, if they smell them, and they know where they're at, and they have that pinpointed, they know where they're at, and they know they're not coming their way, they're fine with it. If they can hear them, but they do not see them, and they know they're not getting closer, they're fine with it. But if you see a buck bedded in here 70, 80 yards, and they can see people walking, dogs and whatnot, that buck's not going to stay bedded, to be honest. Unless he's been around them for years and years and years, and he's completely stupid, he will not stay there, and he will not stay bedded. And, that's just another thing. This is, in a few years from now, this is going to be overgrown, thick, brushy, briars. It's going to be nasty. It's already about a 6 to 7 foot wall. It's almost impenetrable, except for someone like me, because I just go through brush all the time. That's what I do. So I don't care. I'll just climb through it and over it and under it and dip and dive. And the same for deer. You don't got to worry about this, keeping the deer out of your property. If anything, it's going to keep more deer coming into your property, because they're going to be walking along the edge here where it's wide open, and all they're going to see in there is a thick wall, and they're just going to go right into there, especially if the pressure's on with gun hunters and everything else, or a buck does get kicked up from somebody walking their dog. They know exactly where the thickest property is, and they're going to want to go straight for that wall when they see it. And so, there's a lot of different things you can do with hinge cutting, but this is just one of the areas that I wanted to touch on today because I was out working on it. And just to give you guys a little bit of a perspective as to why I do it and why I feel you guys should do it if you're having any of those problems. I personally don't like to cut trees that are more than 8 inches in diameter. That's just for safety reasons when I'm out here by myself. But if you guys, are highly skilled, you know what you're doing, or if you're professional, you can cut as big a trees as you want to keep the property thick if you don't have a lot of smaller trees like we do here. We have a lot of maples, a lot of soft maple. So that's mostly what I cut. There's a couple other kinds of trees that get mixed in, but I try to stay away from cherry, red oak, white oak, anything like that. That's a higher quality tree for timber reasons. But for the most part, all I cut is soft maple and basswood, and just junk trees that are more junk for any other purpose other than hinge cutting. So yeah, guys, those are my two main reasons for this. There's tons of reasons you could come up with if you really sat down and thought about it. It creates an edge on the inside of your property for these bucks to walk if you wanted to hunt the edge. One more thing I wanted to point out here about the hinge cut property line, which is just 15 yards that way, and what it does for bucks. It creates a rub line you know, it creates a natural rub line that these bucks want to follow because they're you know, navigating according to structure. And so when you have that, you know, property line there, I mean, our bucks rub all along this, you know, this hinge cut property line. There's rubs over there, all in a line. There's rubs here in a line. Another rub there, lower down. Little rub there. There's a rub there. There's another one over there. There's another one right over here. There's another tree, little tree that's tore up right there. I mean, there's just tons of rubs in here. And then if you go down over this hill, I'm not going to walk all the way down there, but there's a few more rubs on these trees, all going. If you see this property line, right along the property line on this hinge cut property line. So I guess just one more thing I forgot to point out. It can act as a rub line too for bucks. They'll naturally walk the edge. I kind of mentioned the edge, I think, but they'll naturally walk that edge to create a rub line. So another reason to hinge cut your property line. On the back sides of these trees, going the opposite way, more rubs. All on the back sides of all these trees, more rubs, more rubs, more rubs up there. So, guys, lots of great reasons to hinge cut the property line. And I mean, it just makes sense to me, but yeah, just take that into consideration as well. But anyways, guys, that's the gist of it and what I wanted to share with you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this quick little rundown on why I extensively hinge cut our property over here on our farm, and yeah, my main reasons. So thank you guys so much for watching, and always remember, Brotherhood Outdoors, once a sportsman, always a sportsman.